Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's a joy to be here once again with you and talk to you, speak with you, share my heart with you, and especially on this quite auspicious day of 7/13 and the new moon. Good morning, Lisa, and all the energies that are coming forth from the universe to support us, to lift us, to love us, to bring us into a deeper communion with the truth of who we are. And many of us will be challenged through these next coming eclipse period, this period of eclipses. Yet I ask each of you to just gently talk to yourself and to deepen your relationship within your own heart in order to see the full beauty and glory of what humanity is truly going through. So it looks like people are showing up. Beautiful, Lisa. And I'm going to try to do the Chris. Good morning, Chris. Jennifer. Oh, such joy. Payal, Robbie, Sandy. Good morning. Your first time tuning in. Well, welcome. And I'm going to try to. Everything seems to be working this morning, which is always a strange event for me. So what I wanted to read first is what I wrote, and it's up in the at the heading of the column on your right. And just take a deep breath, relax into your hearts, and let's begin. Good morning, universe, and thank you for your invitation to wander in wonder, for the opportunity to self-realize and unfold in the new earth energies and remove the illusions which have separated us. And that's what 7/13 to me represented this morning. As I began to think about what would I say to each of you during this just amazing day. It's a new moon. There's a partial solar eclipse. We're heading into more eclipses, solar eclipses. And how do we embrace who and what we truly are as we go through this? So I started with the numbers, the numerology, the expression 7/13, and of course it's Friday the 13th, which the illusion of that being a negative day. Here's one illusion we can start to get rid of right away. Part of the negativity of the concept of Friday the 13th was to make people think negatively about it, and because it's a powerful day. And if people could tap into the true energies of Friday the 13th, they would find themselves embracing part of the truth of who they are. And those who wanted to control us thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago created havoc and mayhem on those specific days in order for us to not tap into the power of what we're experiencing today. So the number 7, I just wrote some notes here. So the number 7 is spiritual awakening. It's collective consciousness. It represents manifesting and manifestation. soul purpose, and life mission. Why wouldn't we not want to celebrate anything with the number 7? This is the month of July, the 7th month. The 13 is, if you break it down to 1 and 3, is 1 is new beginnings. And I'm not going to elaborate, just briefly cover these. New beginnings. 1 is the new beginnings. The numbers go 1 through 9 and then repeat at 1 again. So it's a new beginning. And that's what the new moon, we call it the new moon. It's a new beginning. It's a new opportunity, a chance to look at things differently and to embrace that difference within us and recalibrate ourselves to higher frequencies of ourselves. Good morning and happy birthday, Steve Crystal Warner. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We send you blessings. And so the number, it's a new beginning. And here we just have somebody, a new beginning here on earth, a birth. And so this, I want you to look at this new moon as a birthing for all of us and a birthing within yourself. The number 3 is optimism and enthusiasm and the ascended masters. And so it also represents manifesting and manifestation. So now here we have this power of 13, 7, 13. If you combine them together as 713, the number 713, we have the energy of divine love and guidance. And it means you're fully supported. You're fully supported by your divine guides, your divine family, not only in the etheric and other dimensions, but right here in the physical presence, because each of us represent that physical presence. And this is part of the new beginning, is we are to look at ourselves, begin to look at ourselves differently. We are to deepen our relationship within our hearts with ourselves and learn to express that in ways that not only empowers us, but empowers everybody we engage with. And this is a great time amidst all of this pain and suffering, amidst all this world turmoil, amidst all of this chaos, for each one of us to really shine as the beautiful shining stars we truly are and bring our little speck of light together and gather in light and harmony and balance for the good of the whole. This is, I'm trying to scan through here. Yes, hello, good morning. For the good of the whole, not just for the good of ourselves, not just for the good of our little personal family, but every living being on this planet. 7.5 billion humans. I don't know how many plants and animals. And it all without one single element on this planet. None of this exists. And that's the water. And you see new moon, solar eclipse, and water. And that's where we're going to end, is at the water, because I want you to come to the water. So if you add the 7, and I'm going to ramble a little bit, but that's okay. That's who I am. If you add 7, 1, and 3, what do you get? The number 11. So now you have the master number 11. And you can look all these numbers up yourself. Play with it. Have fun with what I say. I'm not here to preach some ancient wisdom that's, coming from whatever. I speak from my heart, my own experience, my own walk, and I live my walk. I live it every day. And so the master number 11 is a marriage of strength and intuition. And when I dove deeper into it, it's the balance of the masculine and feminine, the one and the one. the masculine and the feminine, which is strength of the masculine and intuition of the feminine. And what can stop us if we put our strength into our intuition and learn to really trust it and follow its guidance? And I share with you, I've been doing this for 27 years, and it's led me to some strange places and some strange situations. But the outcome is that abundance flows in ways that I never expected, or I could never have learned in a book, or I couldn't have learned by listening to a lecture or listening to somebody like me. We explain it, we talk about it, but when you really start to blend that masculine and feminine energy that each of us are comprised of, and bring them back together and utilize the best of each, everything begins to change and the abundance begins to flow in your life. And this is my experience. So yeah, I'm going to talk big about it, but I want you to dive into yourself and learn to experience that. And I use the word dive specifically because I want to talk about the water. Every new moon, we do a new moon resonance call on at Loving Waters, which is a group I belong to. And it's a group of souls who we've come together, and it's a worldwide expression for people to bless the water and to return respect to the water. And as I said earlier, without water, none of this exists. None of this happens. We don't exist. And what I've been experiencing through my journey with the water is that there are many ways we can learn to respect and love the water within us. So it's not just about the water of the world, which is amazingly important and needs our help, needs our love, needs our respect. And so wherever you are around the world, I commend you if you go to your local water and offer a blessing or communicate with it. You just sit by it and feel the messages. The water will speak to you. And as we said earlier, that somebody was born. Where are we born from? We're born from water. If there was no water in our mother's wombs, we would not have ever appeared here, at least not in this form. So this is important now during this new moon to respect the water. And as I said, we ask people to consciously communicate with the water and to express their love and their gratitude. The simplest way is Dr. Emota's simple blessings, was just as amazing of, I love you, I thank you, I respect you. And you hear me say that at the end of my show, and I say it to you each individually, because I want to bless the water in you. Not just the body, not just your physicality, but this water that carries the intuition, that carries the memory, that carries everything that is precious within us. When the governments and astronauts go out to outer space, what are they looking for in order to have extra, life on other planets? Water. No water, no life. Sounds too simple, doesn't it? It's so simple that it bypasses our conscious mind and just disappears into nothingness. And so I want you on this new moon to tap into the water around you, the water that you're drinking, the water that's within your body, and start to speak loving words to it and respect it and treat it as a living being, because in truth, as I see it, it is a living being. It's an elemental. And so as I was looking this morning for prayers and meditations, and I do my own as well, but there was one that I ran across that was really kind of, it was a nice, if I can find it, hello, Earth Charlie. Okay, it was about solarized water. And this was a new aspect of me of looking at it and calling it solarized water. And it was simple. And it's new moon. My simple thing is you gather your water from your local watershed or whatever, close by. I have mine comes from a spring up in Errol, New Hampshire, so it's as pristine as it's coming out of the earth. And I put it in a bowl. I see, and mine has a piece of shungite, a shungite star tetrahedron in it. But I put it in a bowl, and then I leave it out during the new moon. Okay, and people say, well, there's no light. And I said, it's perfect. It's the womb. It's the womb. The water is in the womb. And this is how I look at it. The water is in the womb. And we're going to allow it to gestate for the moon. And when the sun comes up in the morning, it's placed in the sun and receives the rays of light, just as if we were birthing. When we birthed, we came out of the womb, out of that darkness, and was birthed. And I find the synchronicity of that very powerful for me. And I've never shared that with anybody. But when I read this article about solarized water, it brought home the powerfulness of working with the sun, working with the moon, working with the universe and universal principles. So basically what it says is you take your water and you put it in a bowl or a jar or a dish. You can fancy it up any way you want, decorate it, put crystals in it, whatever. I use shungite, which dissipates negativity. But and just honor the water during the new moon. Okay? And when you're done with the water, I ask you to return it to your land, the flowers perhaps, or your local watershed. And in that moment, say thank you. Say thank you for being a part of me, and I give you my blessing. However you want to do that. Be creative. You're amazing creative beings. However, that charged water now will go back into the source or wherever you are placing it, and it will spread. It will spread a harmonic vibration throughout the water, and the fish that will come through it will carry it upriver, downriver. And what we're doing is creating a completeness, a wholeness. From water we come, to water we return. And so I ask you on this new moon to think about water, to deepen your relationship with water. And I've lost my page here, la, 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 which is okay. Close that down. Now, there you are. So I want to look and see who's, okay, anything that I need to talk about, because I'm going to try to address some of people's questions or, let's see, I don't know if it's, oh, somebody's having goosebumps. We love you. We love your goosebumps. With and Letitia is saying so many connected at the same time. We are connected, and that those goosebumps are. I look at it as an electrical charge in the water in us, and that's what it makes our skin do. It makes it. It wants to be released. It's releasing joy. It's releasing electricity and energy because we're lighting up. And I can't say this scientifically, but I look at that as a water process of our body, because that's what's it's there's an explosion. There's an energetic communication that is beyond our human consciousness. This is when we communicate soul to soul, heart to heart. This is what this new moon is about each of us tapping deeper into that and not being afraid to express it. And that just came through. And so my guides are saying that for years and years and years, we have lived in this state of fear where we became intimidated to express to each other, to say, I love you to others. It had to be only that special person, or it had to be, we had to put, this was something we had to guard ourselves with. Think about that. Why would we need to guard love? Interesting. If we express our love, doesn't it make the other person feel better? Doesn't it make us feel better? We wonder why there's so much depression in the world and so much suffering in the world. And it's because we continually refuse to express our love for each other. And I know many of you have lost loved ones. And this is what your suffering is from, is because you've shared your love with these people in your life. And you did it so unconditionally. And then all of a sudden they're gone. Or they've gone through a difficult time, which was even more heartbreaking. And what do you do with that love now? It's still there. It's still in your hearts. And this is what you need to do, is express it. Find ways to express it, not only to the deceased members of your family, because you can love them now and they will love you in return. I just spoke with a woman yesterday morning, and the first time I was in her presence in her home, and the first place she took me to were those that she loved that were no longer here. And when I looked at their pictures, whether they be animals or children or fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, I sat there and communicated with them and said, I love you. I sent them love. And so, again, the new moon. We can do this. This is what the new moon is bringing us, is loving words for each other. I pulled a card. I got 7 minutes left. I pulled a card. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Okay, so this is a spiral galaxy that's similar to our own Milky Way, but it's not our Milky Way. Okay, on the back of the card, they're what you would call meditation cards. The back of the card reads, loving words. Loving words. This is what I say to the water. Loving words. This is what I say to the water within myself. Loving words. That love flows through me in that water. This is what I say to others. Loving words. I don't mean to keep using the word I. I'm just using it as an expression of my practice. What you do is what you need to create for yourself. I can only give you suggestions. I can't tell you, oh, if you check off this, this, and this will happen. But I can promise you that when you change your relationship to the elements here on earth, and in particularly water, your life will dramatically change. And it will change for the better. Every tear is sacred. It's the water. When we breathe in the air, we feel the water on our tongue evaporating. When we let out air, we feel the heat and the steam from our breath. Breathe on a mirror. What do you see? Moisture. No water, no life. It's really simple. This is what this new moon is screaming at us, or at least screaming at me. So some affirmation. So the message of this loving words card was, I lovingly hear the universe bring the spirit of words to my mind, and so I always speak with love. Sounds easy to do, but we all know it's a challenge. And my question for you is, are you up for the challenge? Are you ready to commit to who you truly are, beyond illusions, beyond ideas that were created to manipulate you, to make you less than who you were and who you are, less than the possibility of who you can be? Some affirmations are vibration. Let's see. What vibration is more than intention. Intention is more than word. Thank you. And think about those messages as you read them in the columns there. When we intend, it is a vibration. And every vibration has an effect. And the words we speak, the sound, the voice, all have a vibration and an intention. Use those wisely. These are your master tools. You don't know how much power you really have. So affirmations are, I am kind and gentle to myself and others. And I love how they put myself first, because my whole life I have tried to be kind to others and forgot about me, because I was told that was being selfish. That was, you have to do for others. Put others first. And I always felt partly depleted in that process. But when I turned it around and recognized that in the morning when I wake up, I say thank you to something greater than myself, but which is myself, which is the Creator. And in that moment, I recognize the Creator in me, and that I have the power to create my day. And my day can be beneficial not only to myself, but others. And so we share that in synchronicity. I appreciate everyone I meet and speak in a gentle, loving voice. And as you hear me speak, I do speak in a gentle and loving voice. Some people might call it annoying at times. And I have to learn how to speak more precisely. But this is my path. I didn't take public speaking in high school. I didn't learn how to communicate with people. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. But it comes with love, so it makes it easy. I accept and respect others in the way I would like to be accepted. And so here we come to the golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that's not part of any single religious practice or spiritual practice. It's a universal principle. And it works. There are people, of course, that are going to be confrontational. We don't know what they're going through until they tell us. My voice is always delicate and kind. And I hope that's how I come across. For men, being delicate is not an easy task. For the men who are listening to my talking, this is what we're going through. We're letting go of the power and the force. And our strength is not to be pushed on anyone. It's not to be used to manipulate. But we have a greater strength when we can tap in and balance and make it a delicate strength. It didn't lose strength because it's delicate. And we don't lose our strength or our manliness because we're kind. And this is something that we as men in the world need to truly look in the mirror and redefine how we are interacting with ourselves and with each other. And bring ourselves back into balance. As I said, the 11, it's the balance of the strength of the masculine and the intuition of the feminine. So for all of you male beings out there, and I say that not just as a physical presence, but those of you who are in your masculinity as the foremost energy, temper it with your female side. It has nothing to do with sex and gender. It has to do with the energies of the universe, which are masculine and feminine. However they're embodied, and they're embodied in many different forms and different dimensions. I won't go there, but that's okay. That's what I see and what I understand. So these are things that each of us need to come to embrace as we go through this new moon and enjoy your evening or your day, wherever you are around the world. Tap into those energies and know that they are here to empower you. And so I'm just going to close with a thing from the Spontaneous Healing of Belief from our beloved brother, Greg Braden. There was a couple of quotes on one of his chapters, and it was chapter 4 called, "What Do You Believe? The Great Question of the Core of Your Life." And they're quotes by Buddha and Soren Kierkegaard. So the first one is, there are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. And that's Soren Kierkegaard. And the last I'll leave you with as my blessing is from Buddha. And it is, do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken and rumored by many, or merely on authority of your teachers and elders. But after observation and analysis, when you find that anything agrees with reason, then accept it and live up to it. And so that's my wish for you of the new moon, of the solar eclipse, and from our beloved water, is to live up to the truth of who you are and dive deeper into that pool of love within yourself. And until next week, I am complete, and I send you my peace, my light, and my love from deep within the watery pools of my heart. I love you. I thank you. And I respect you. Aho. Enjoy. See you next week. Love you all. Bye-bye.